Rec Room is closing its doors June 1st, 2026. Regardless of if you ever cared about this game or not, this shutdown is a devastating blow, as Rec Room was, and still is, one of the most played VR games of all time. The Rec Room originals and user-generated content holds a very special place in many's hearts, and for me, it filled a void I felt was missing after the shutdown of Little Big Planet. The tools for making things were simple yet full of depth. Some of the creations made by the community were truly special pieces of art and complex, borderline indie game levels of quality and content. This Mario one, for example, was always a favorite of mine. Whenever a new friend of mine would get a headset, I would always walk them through Rec Room, and that meant playing this random Mario experience. They always loved it and came out excited about VR as a whole. I used to spend countless hours staying up all night playing miscellaneous experiences and meeting new people. I struggled greatly from anxiety and didn't have medication for it as a kid, and I wasn't able to build confidence to really talk to people in person. I didn't like VR chat since I was still younger and wanted to play an actual game instead of just sitting and talking, and Rec Room was that safe space for me. In a way, this shutdown is like seeing the playground you used to go to as a kid close down. The people you met there, the experience you had as a part of your childhood, all of it turning to nothing but a memory for you and the people you shared it with. But as much as I am nostalgic for Rec Room, there was genuine objective quality here. The Rec Room originals were pretty much all really good. Golden Trophy, Crescendo, Rise of Jumbotron. These are borderline full indie VR games built into Rec Room for completely free. They were also really fucking hard for some reason. I always dreamed of being able to beat some of the ones I could never beat when I was younger one day, and now I probably never will. But as much as I love Rec Room, I can admit it's a very, very flawed game. I gave the game one more try before writing this video, and the quests still hold up. They're really fun. But this is a live service free-to-play game. To maintain a game like this, consistent income from players is required, and the last proper Rec Room quest that was released was all the way back in 2018. Rec Room would still release some original content, but the output was insanely slow and new quests weren't released pretty much altogether. I think if Rec Room kept releasing these super high quality quests behind maybe a one-time payment DLC for a set of them or something, maybe it could have worked, but now it's too late. There was also essentially no reason to make purchases in Rec Room. Everything was cosmetic, which is fine, but the cosmetics weren't enticing enough in my opinion. Rec Room would allow creators to monetize their creations and offer in-game purchases in an attempt to make in-game purchases more enticing, but it would also encourage more Roblox-styled microtransactions and greatly take away the incentive for a creator to just make an excellent game. So the output of great games stopped, and was instead replaced with penny-pinching experiences to maximize income. This also pushed away any mature audience pretty much entirely, as the actual core game simply wasn't very fun anymore. I was always under the impression this was unfortunately working, taking me away from the game pretty much entirely, but I guess not, since the game is now shut down. The game is also insanely dated. This would be fine if this was just an old game that was released back in the day, but this was a game that aimed to be a live service long-term game that never really adapted to its time. I learned an exploit around 5 years ago at this point that lets you clip through essentially any wall by just turning into a wall and leaning in VR. And I tried again today, and voila! Still working. This isn't some minor exploit either. You can use this to cheat in many, many ways, and as an annoying little shit, I did. I used to hide in a desk in RP Uni City and make fun of people for not being able to kill me. I was annoying as all hell, and a game consistently made up of kids, they're gonna be fucking annoying if they can be, and God, were they. So yeah. There are a couple of big inherent problems with this game, and this is just scratching the surface. I've heard so many horror stories of modern Rec Room, and personally I wanted and have had nothing to do with it. For me, Rec Room as I knew it has been gone for a long time already. For me, Rec Room was gone when I could get on my favorite games like Homicide, Murder Mystery, and Plates of Doom, and see that it was just me in those lobbies. Nobody was interested in playing these once blossoming games anymore, and instead, people were off playing things like Steal a Brain Rot. The top maps used to be things like a fully working recreation of FNAF with cameras and multiplayer. Now it was a random PvP map where you could spend $20 to be invincible or something. So at this point, you're probably wondering, why does it matter anyway? The game fell off, the experience was tarnished, less and less people were playing, so who cares that it's shutting down? In which case, in a way, you'd be completely right. This game was rotting away from what was so special and lovely about it for years. But the lovely parts were still available if you looked for them. The thousands of special creations from before the monetization incentives were still available. They never went anywhere. The quests could still be played and were still fun. Whenever a new friend of mine would get a headset throughout the years, I could still show them what I believe to be one of the best introductions to VR there was. That won't be available anymore. That's why it matters. The 10 years of work people have put into making amazing things will be gone. The countless hours people have spent making special dorm rooms, customizing their avatars to represent themselves, the photos they've taken with their friends, the things they've grinded for, it'll all be gone. I used to know a group of people I would play with every day. After a while, we all naturally stopped getting on. We grew up, the game got worse, people had lives and things to take care of outside of this silly game. Hell, one of them wound up in the military. I don't know if you're watching this, but love you, Mudkip. You're always an insanely nice person. I'd always dreamed that one day, for just one last time, we'd all play Rec Room together and share just one more memory together. Just like we used to. Just one more day. One last time, we'd all coincidentally get on and play Rec Room. Those days of waiting turned to weeks, then to months, then years. That day never came. Now that day never will come. And it'll remain a dream of mine that never got to be fulfilled forever. The people I met and hung out with were some of the most influential people in my life. I still think about things I learned from people, especially you, Strict Emu, if you're for some reason watching this. This game was one of my first VR games, and I'd always find myself coming back to it. This game meant something to me in a way I don't think any other game has. The people I met meant the world to me at the time. The places I visited intrigued and wowed me in ways I'd never quite experienced before. I learned life lessons, finally was able to talk to new people for the first time in years, and had somewhere that felt almost as if it were tailor-made to me. It was a very special game to grow up with, but I'll never have that experience again. Even if the game did stay running for as long as I lived, it wouldn't matter. In a way, this Shutdown isn't a game I love being taken away from me. It's a beautiful reminder and proper ending to my childhood. To stay on theme with the game's college dorm aesthetic, I like to think of it as graduating. Just like a real graduation, it's bittersweet. On one hand, you finally did it. You made it to the end and accomplished everything along the way. The good, the bad, the memories you had, nothing lasts forever. You made it to the end like you always hoped you would and accomplished everything you set out to do. But on the other hand, there's a part of you, a small part, that wishes it could last forever. That wishes you could relive some of those lovely memories and moments that mean the world to you. But you know if you could, then they would lose so much of what makes them so special. Never being able to return is what makes a graduation so beautifully sad. It's ending a story at the right time. It's letting things rest that makes it so special. We may have graduated from Rec Room, but for as long as we live, those memories will live on with the special few of us that got to experience them. As sad as it is to know new people won't be able to experience what we did here, that's part of what makes this game and those memories so uniquely special. It's as if, for one final time, we're being given a special thank you for our time by making this memory as special as possible. I just hope that in some way, this video can serve as a way to preserve those memories, even after we few who got to experience it aren't around anymore. But until the day we're gone, Rec Room will always live in my heart as if it was my childhood home, because to a kid who couldn't fit in outside, it was. Rec Room made that kid feel included for the first time and gave him his own little perfect world with people he could finally learn to talk to. So for one final time, forever and always, make sure you give it your Rec Room best. I know I will.